I want to share with you my henna lesson. I created it a few years back. I do it every year in the Histories of Cosmetology chapter, and the students love it. It's something that I do either the first or second week of school because it's easy, it's fast, it's fun, and when the students come the first week, they actually go home excited because Mom, this is what I learned today, and this is how much money I can make, if I did it in a real wedding at a salon or at an event. And it's really exciting for them to be able to go home with something done the first week of school instead of sitting through orientation and paperwork and rules. And so it would seem more boring and it would turn them off to it. So instead of doing the traditional paperwork, I just tried to add a little bit of the history of cosmetology. I mean, it's a cultural thing, but it's definitely something that's in our industry. It's something that's available to them if they wanted to be a henna artist. And so you see a lot of bins back here, and I'll do a video on what that is. That's my storage system for all of my lessons. This particular one, I call it body art. So I'll pull out what I use for my henna lesson. So whenever the first week of school comes, I come in my little closet and I find my bin that I'm going to be working on, and depending on what chapter I'm on, and I pull my bin out, I put it in my car, take it to school, use it for the week, and then on Friday, pack it up, restock it if I need to, and then put it back for a different lesson or for next year. So I always try to make sure to never leave it without whatever supplies that I run out of. Because in a quick pinch, if I need a quick, fast lesson, or if I need to do presentation, or whatever the case may be, then here you go. It's done, it's ready. Everything in here is ready to go, okay? So first thing is for my henna. At the beginning of the school year, I like to make the environment fun. So yes, I spend a lot of my own money, but it's totally worth it. I'll go to the dollar store and I'll buy colorful tablecloths, and I'll buy balloons and confetti and party favors and spread them out, and just to make it really fun. It's a concept that I got from when I taught at Palm Houston, the academy here in Houston. It's something that they taught us, and it just stuck with me because it works. It's amazing what it does for the students. They get so excited when they come in, and it's colorful and fun, and there's music playing, and it makes them want to come back to you the next day. Okay, so I found these. I'm going to use these this year. They're tablecloths from the dollar store. They have a little bit of the henna designs on there. It's really neat. So I'll cut these in half. We have small, thin tables, so I'll cut them in half, and then one per table. I'll lay them out, or sometimes, you can do a black one and one with design, so it's not too much of a busy table or busy room. Now, let's say that you don't have the means, or you don't have time, or you're unable to. So then just do one table, or maybe your demonstration table, and then you decorate your table, and so then that way there's one attention piece in the front, and then just regular tables that the students work on the back, or where they sit at. So that's there. I have my henna packet. So this is a packet I created, and it has a lot of the different designs that I teach. Now these designs, one summer I wanted to, just for continuing education, just go to a class, and they were like $200-300 for like a 2-hour class. And I understand why it's so expensive, because when you charge, you make that and more. I understand that. But I don't like to spend money like that, so I just went on YouTube, and I kind of just learned off of YouTube. And then I chose different designs, I drew them, and then I put them just on one packet. So when I drew them, I also made a YouTube tutorial, and it shows me doing this exact one. So I filmed myself while I drew this one, and then when I was done filming it, I cut it out and I taped it on here, and then I did the next one. I filmed myself doing it, cut it out, taped it on here. And so every single, it's literally the same mistake marks on the video are the same mistake marks on here, so the students can see it's your work. It's very easy to say, oh, here's a YouTube video of some random person drawing some random or thing or doing random makeup or whatever, but it's more powerful when the student sees that it's you, it's your voice, it's your hand, it's your work, and then they see it on paper and then they have to do it. It's amazing. It puts two of you in the classroom, so as they're watching the video, then I'm walking around teaching it, so there's two of me in the classroom. It's amazing. So it is front and back. It has different designs. So what I'll do is at our school we have the wall, excuse me, the wall is a whiteboard. It has that whiteboard paint. And so I'll start with basic designs. So I'll draw them. They have white paper and they draw it on the paper. They have the same packet, just computer paper is fine. And then just to really make it have the feel, I have them use the thin brown markers just so that it looks more like the real henna. And so we get more into these intricate designs. And so, of course, before we get started, I talk about the history of cosmetology and where this comes from and the culture and the weddings and how much you charge. And I show them, I also have, I incorporate Pinterest. So with Pinterest, I have a Pinterest board that I share the link with the students through Schoology, and it has all kinds of collection of all kinds of pictures of henna, like the more modern ones and the more traditional ones, the weddings, the brides, the photo shoots, so that way the students can see, oh, she's not just saying because it's in the book, like, no, this is real life, you can really do this, people really pay money for it, and this is how it goes. And these are my options. Through all of this, there's a Prezi PowerPoint. So it's a PowerPoint type of presentation. I have a Prezi and it has pictures and it guides me through my lesson and what it is that I'm going to say next. That's on the board, and they have the link to that. We use Schoology. And so they're watching this on their tablet. If it's not up on the board, they can also go home, and if they were absent or if they want to rewatch the lesson, they can click on all of that and they can go through it again. It has direct links to YouTube, Prezi, Pinterest, all those other things. So Schoology is great. If you don't have it at school, ask for it. It's amazing. All right, so we'll go through all of this, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll do maybe 10 minutes depending on what we have going on. And then I show them how to draw their own hand. They'll draw their own hand, and then they'll draw the cufflinks and things like that on the paper. Now on Friday or one of the days, what I'll have them do is I'll say, okay, on Friday you're gonna come in. As soon as you come in, you should already have your design ready. You're gonna draw it on yourself. So you have 15 minutes to draw, so it can't be too crazy, intricate. You have 15 minutes to draw it, and then we're gonna take a picture. We're gonna do a quick photo shoot. So that's their first photo shoot, and it's just of their hand. So what I do is I have different bracelets, and so we can use either the tablecloth or just the black cloth, or I actually have some fabric pieces that I'll lay out that I kind of have like that henna type feel, and they'll put their hand over it. We'll go by the window to get good lighting. I'll take a picture of them. I'll post it on our Facebook, our CTHS Cosmetology Facebook page, and then I have them take a picture of their work to put in their portfolio. So throughout the 4 years, they built their portfolio so that when they go to get a job, they say, okay, this is what I can do. This is where I started in 9th grade. This is my work. And then this is my work as I graduated up to 12th grade and finished off. So you can see how much I've improved throughout the years. So that's their first photo shoot, okay? Other things that I have here in my little toolbox is I made this. It's just a little 2-ring little binder. And what I did, and see if I can get it a little bit more up close, is I went onto the internet and I saved these pictures. And so what I'll do is, if I need to, I'll pull this out, I'll take it to the board, and as I'm looking at it, I draw it. because sometimes there's so many designs that I forget, oh, what do I draw? And I don't want to, be looking at my paper and the students are like, she doesn't know what she's doing. She's just copying the packet. So then I'll quickly just glance at it and then I'll draw it. So I don't take the whole thing. I just take the one card and I did laminate them. And I just, with tape, I taped them onto my little card. And then I'll just take it, okay, this is what I'm gonna do next. And it goes like this, and I'll draw it on the board. So it gives me more, it makes it look, not that I don't know what I'm doing, but it just makes it look more authentic when the students see you just draw it on the board, opposed to if you have this piece of paper and you're drawing it. It just kind of, you look better when you look like you know what you're doing, although you do know what you're doing. But it just looks better on you. So I have this little packet here. So if ever I don't have time to run off copies, or if I just want to seem like I can just teach it off the top of my head or a quick lesson, that would be it, okay? In our media center, in our district, we have these little, I don't know, you punch out like letters and things like that. So there's these little hands. So I laminated white paper. Okay, and so we have those little hands, and so either with, to teach them how to work with the, like henna consistency type product, it's laminated so it can be wiped off. They can either do brown marker, they could do a brown liquid liner, or these little putty thingies, I don't know what they're called, scribbles, little putty thingies, and they have a point on them, so it kind of mimics how henna works. They have to be careful on the consistency of squeezing the product out of the bottle. That's very important. Nowadays, there's like white henna and they have like glitter and things like that. So I do have a little pot of glitter that I do have them, I scoop out a little bit, put it on like a little piece of foil so they can play with it. Sometimes I will print out a henna page, and let's just pretend that I printed this out, okay? But I want them to copy it and practice it. So I found old projector sheets, and so you can either cut them out or you can use the whole sheet, put it on top, and then you can draw over it. Even with a brown Sharpie marker, you can draw and then you can go through and practice the design instead of having to do it on the paper. And the good thing about these is that nowadays, if you find these are very cheap, and also you can wipe them down and reuse them. Or you can just give it to the student and say, okay, this is what you're gonna take home. You're gonna take your packet home, you're gonna take this home, here's your brown marker, and practice. And wipe it down with alcohol or just a wet towel, and then practice, 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 because practice makes perfect, right? So that's that. Now, another big point that I hit on when I teach henna is that when a student looks at something like this or something like this, even when I look at it at first, I'm like, holy moly, how do I even stop? I can't do that. And so that teaches them the I can't. So I teach them the you can. You just have to break it down step by step, line by line, dot by dot, circle by circle. So then I teach them how to break it down. So for example, in this flower here, so we start with the dot in the middle, and then we do a circle around the dot, and then we do little flower-like petals around that circle, and then we do this big petal, then we color it in, and line by line, space by space, design by design, you start to break it down, break down the design. And so whenever they see this gorgeous updo or this flawless makeup application, and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. Well, no, you can. You just have to break it down. Okay, start with the contouring and then move on to the eyes, or start with the foundation, the ponytail, and then take this section and move it this way. And so it kind of begins to break down that wall of fear of I can't do that. It looks too hard. Well, it's only hard if you don't know how to go about attacking it. So this definitely helps them. Gain a little bit more confidence. And I do apologize, the light through the window is really bad. Anyway, so then I have my little pouch of supplies or tools. In here I do have tissues. I do have drawing pencils if I wanted to use pencils. I do I did get out of from this place. I did get the actual henna tip. I don't know if you can see it through there. So where you can actually teach the students how to mix the henna, and then with that particular applicator, it's very thin. Henna does get expensive if you go out and buy it. I would not recommend to demonstrate on a student or to let the students use real henna on themselves. After all, it is a tattoo, and I don't know how your administrators would feel about that, but on paper, there's nothing wrong with that. It is something that is available in our industry. It is something that if the students were more artistic and wanted to go in that direction, that they could. But definitely on paper, or even if you during Halloween they sell the hands. Some are scarier, but they sell hands and arms. You can use that as practice. You buy just a bunch of hands at the dollar store, or feet. Also, unfortunately, in Halloween time, they typically are ugly hands and feet with like blood and stuff on them. But if you use some, I don't know, maybe acetone, you can rub some of the color stains of blood off of it, and it looks more like, just a skin tone. But it's just something to work on if you wanted to use real henna instead of allowing the students to work on their own skin. Sometimes parents might not agree with that either, and henna does take a long time to fade off, so you want to be careful with that. I do keep my brown marker in here, and so just this is the kind of brown markers, is very thin ones that we use. So that's all the things that I have for my henna design. On the YouTube video, you can see there's a playlist. It's called Henna Designs, or just henna, so you can take a look at those, and it has all of these designs on there. You can Pinterest, Google, YouTube, all kinds of any kind of henna nowadays, and just kind of take the time to teach yourself and learn a little bit about the history. Put a little PowerPoint, connect it to your chapter and to your teaks, and you should be good to go. So that's my henna design. I do tend to have the henna music going on when we do the photo shoot on Friday, just to get it more exciting and really get in the atmosphere. Sometimes I'll buy them like, something from that culture. I'll buy them like a candy or a cookie or something of the sort, just so they really can, immerse themselves in the project and the assignment. So anyway, so hope you enjoyed that. If you do try it out, I hope it goes good for you. If you have any questions, let me know. And I just want to share that one of the most important things at the beginning, the first week of school, really is just to teach the students something, even if it's how to paint nail polish, how to apply nail polish. And have them go home with the excitement of, Mom, guess what we did today? And not, hey, what'd you do today? Oh, we did paperwork, or oh, nothing, or nothing yet. We're still, getting assigned seats or whatever. So really make it fun for your students, make that difference, make that change, and you'll see if you start off your year that way, I guarantee it's going to be a good year. So leave me a comment, see how it worked out for you if you use this lesson. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call or let me know. I'll be more than happy to help. Thanks for watching.